The intricacy of women is an amazing thing. Talked about with our young people that it's so important that fathers acknowledge the significance and the value of daughters. Fathers wield a lot of power in the lives of young ladies. Therein, women, young ladies, get their sense of value. They get a sense of what a man really is, men, by how we treat ourselves, our wives, our children, their siblings, even our animals. I mean, how you handle pressure, how you handle things. You've got to spend time with the young girls in your lives. Whether she's your biological daughter, stepdaughter, nieces, cousins, neighbors' kids, the friends of your children. You've got to treat these young girls as ladies that they're going to be. Because if you don't, Satan will. But he's going to send along some slick, Rick, sweet-talking pimp to give them a false sense of value that he can yank and give when he pleases. It's really important that you tell that young lady how beautiful she is. I don't care if you think she's got 2 teeth in her mouth, looks like Yoda. Let's call it what it is. It's funny, but I'm being very serious in this sense. That was the context was humor, but the content is seriousness. If we don't raise our young girls to be ladies, Satan will raise them to be the kind of women that he wants them to be at his beckon. Women oftentimes have to be twice as good as a man in every area of life just to be considered a contender in corporate America. Do you know that? How many sisters in here really can attest to that? You've got to be smarter than these guys out here, and you definitely know you're much more mature. You know how we handle ourselves when we don't get ourselves out, don't get things our way. Like complete bumbling idiots. Half the time, we don't know what we're doing, but we're going to fake it because of that male bravado that says, I am man. Because we got a testicular sack, right? And men, I'm not trying to demean us, but we know what it is. It's the same thing that it's a lot easier for a white person to get up here and talk about how wrong racism has been and how badly white folks have treated black people. It's more accepted by white people to hear it from a white person. But it's offensive when a passionate black person gets up here to talk about racism. So it's easier for me as a man to talk about sexism because I'm a man. Ladies have to go through their lives settling so much. That's why it's important you teach your daughters not to settle. Tell her to shoot for the prize, to shoot for her dreams, to aspire for higher. Don't just settle. Ladies have to settle so much. God made you to create the cradle for life, to carry life, to raise, to produce, to give life and nourishment to a brain, a beating heart, lungs, bones, muscles, character. No wonder ladies spend so much time in life settling for things. Settle for a man the way he treats you. Settle for the job and the pay that you get. Settling for a salary when you should get the salary plus the bonus and the expense account. You've got the degree. You had the GPA. You had you graduated with all the accolades. But you don't get the job. Who gets it? Poindexter. Why? Because he's got a testicular sack. I'm not a man hater. I love being a man. I love women. Absolutely do. God made nothing finer on this planet. But as a man, I'm able to realize that women spend so much time selling. It's hard to grapple with being a lady and maintaining the dignity of a lady when the world treats you like a little girl. It's rough being a lady today. It's hard being a woman today. Teach your young girls the game. Let them know there is a game. I'm sorry, young sweetie pie. Just because he looks and smiles at you does not mean that that's the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with, just because he kissed you the right way, held your hand, bought you a slice of pizza, even gave you half of his and his soda, does not mean he's always going to be as giving. Because they hired you based on your academic prowess and your ability to extrapolate critical thinking out of the most critically challenging situations, does not mean you're always going to get credit for it in the long run. The fact that he knows the color of your eyes does not always mean that he'll be concerned with the content of your character. Gentlemen, teach your daughters the game. If you were a player when you were young, don't turn a blind eye to the game. Teach your daughter the game. Ladies, let her know you can play the game and be manipulative and conniving. Come on, let's tell the truth and stay in the church. Now, let them know what you're capable of doing if you have to. But don't define your value by the game that you must also play to get what you want, because you have to settle all the time. Because you will find yourself constantly having to settle, but never able to settle yourself in terms of the peace that surpasses all understanding. God made you fearfully and wonderfully intricate and wonderful and powerful and beautiful and sexy and vivacious and sensuous and amorous and romantic. He gave you so many more appendages in life than he gave us. We essentially got 1 or 2 colors in our crayon box. We want respect. Respect me, I'm a man. And we want it when we want it. How many times do you settle as a lady? Settle for the looks over the character? Because sometimes it's hard to find looks and character in the same man. You settle for the ability to provide for you, if need be, instead of a man that you're in love with. You settle for the way he makes love to you, instead of being passionately adorned physically. Women have to settle a lot. So teach your daughter, if she has to settle, in what areas to settle and how to settle with character. Ladies, teach your daughters the game. Let them prepare themselves now, at the age of 11, 12, and 13, for things that will come exponentially fast while you're at work. Be transparent and authentic with your daughters, gentlemen. Young brothers, you've got a daughter coming up. Let them know what you did to girls your age. That's right, let them know what you did to girls at their age. The same dude you're telling them to stay away from, you once were. Raising a child, especially raising a girl, is no joke. Ladies, you know what I'm saying. Some of you right here, I see tears in your eyes because you're understanding that you're coping and reckoning and grappling with things that you've never overcome. Forgiveness. Teach your daughter forgiveness, because women can harbor because they carry. They're built to carry. Learn to forgive quickly. Teach them to learn to forgive quickly. Teach them to love. Teach them to forget. But most importantly, teach them intimacy with God, because that is who will carry them when they feel limp to fall to the ground and there's no man around in the picture. When they've got to be man and woman to their children because there's no man in the picture. But all he was a sperm depository. Teach those young girls how to be women and ladies when the world continuously, even with a PhD, treats them like a girl.